The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together. Yo, welcome back to This Can't Be Adulting. Another episode, Derek.
Yo, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Went too long. We were just cracked. First of all, that was loud as fuck, and it's a good thing. We were just talking about how Herb be mad low in the podcast, like with his audio.
Yep, yeah. I'm going up now. I'm in your ear now. You hear me?
Hey,
you hear me?
Yeah, hear me.
To be heard.
Hey, and he's got a really deep voice too. The thing is that his mic be all the way out here sometimes, and it's just like, bro, get a little closer. Then he puts a sexual innuendo in there. He makes it all fucking weird.
I wasn't even gonna say it. I wasn't even gonna bring it up. It was off camera. I wasn't gonna bring it on camera. But I just don't want the mic too close to my mouth. You know? That's all.
So I'm gonna say. That's all he's gonna say.
That's all I'm gonna say. But man, it feels good to be back though.
It's been a while, man. Hey, life is but life be coming at motherfuckers fast. I feel like we say this all the time, but we apologize because it's been 3 weeks since we dropped the last episode, and just unfortunately 2 weeks. Herb got sick last week.
Boy, I thought I was gonna die last Thursday, bro.
Yeah, you must have been because we had just talked the day before, and you were like, "Yeah, let's go, we're doing it." Blah blah. And then that day you were like, "Bro, I'm dead."
Bro, I was dying that whole week, and I was amping myself up, and then I went. I had to do something in San Antonio on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I had talked to my mom that night, and I was like, man, she was already like, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the doctor. And then Thursday when I woke up, I was like, I'm not feeling right.
What happened? What were you feeling?
I had a sinus infection.
Them shit suck.
Dude, she looked at my ear.
Sinus infection suck.
Yeah, your ear. She looked right in there. She's like, oh, yeah, your ear is infected. I was like, well, that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's a fucking weird answer.
She looked at my nose. She's like, oh, yeah. That ain't right either. Looked at my throat. She's like, oh, yeah, you got some spots on there. That ain't right either. So, boy, been on steroids. If I'm looking a little swole over here today, that's what it is. I'm on the roids.
I was going to say,
yeah, and Z-Packs. So, it's antibiotics and steroids. So, my birth control ain't working.
You sound good.
Just letting you know.
This dude, don't get anybody pregnant, bro. Hey, you never know. You never know.
Hey. So yeah, I had a sinus infection.
Well, glad you're feeling better.
I am.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back, even though I was also just mentally fucking sick myself last week. Anyways.
So tell us why you were feeling a little bit down and blue.
So I went to ACL. For y'all that don't know, Austin City Limits Music Festival. Mm-hmm. It's a really big music festival out here in Austin. Yes. Went out Sunday for a day with my best friend Jamie. Speaking of, this is the Friends episode part 2. So my best friend Jamie now lives in Houston, so he came out here with his now wife. Congratulations, Marty. Jamie, they got married the weekend before.
Oh, congratulations.
So now they're married. They came out here. We'll call it their honeymoon celebration. And we went out and we checked out Fade. Fade is a reggaeton artist from Colombia. We checked out John Summit.
How was that?
It was dope. Okay. It was dope. Right. Such a blast. And so we had a good time. So there was just a lot of drinking going on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of drinking. So I was hungover as fuck on Monday. And I was I just wasn't feeling good.
Well, I understand that. Can you imagine that we used to do that all 3 days? You did that one day.
3 days.
3 days.
And we did. We used to do it 3 days, and yes, I did that one day. And there was 1 year where I did it both weekends in a row.
No.
3 days in a row in 2015. Like, I was just thinking about that too. It was wild. And it was wild because we met a bunch of really cool people out there, and they were all like early 20s. Like, early 20s. I met this girl there was 24, Colombian girl. She was in the Fade thing, and she went both weekends. I was talking to her about it this week, and she was like, yeah, I went this weekend too. I'm like, oh, you crazy, dog. She out there all 3 days, 2 weekends in a row. I was like, I don't know how I did it.
Man, boy.
I don't know how I did it.
We used to be young.
To be young again. And then this weekend I was in Dallas for the Mexico-Colombia soccer game, and
Who won? I don't even know.
Colombia smacked that ass. It was embarrassing for Mexico.
Yeah, you know that's
4-0 smacked them. Colombia's nice, bro.
Yeah, we nice. We nice.
Yeah, oh, we nice.
Y'all better watch out for us. We nice.
Yeah. He's gonna be by his jersey, but it was more Colombia than I did, so that was a blast. So shout out to my cousin Andy. Flew off from LA. We went out there, got an Airbnb. Even Choco came to Dallas with us. She didn't come to the game, unfortunately, because she forgot her jersey.
Oh damn!
But we was out there in these streets, and there was a lot of drinking there. Although I didn't feel as bad, and part of the reason is because we actually had Monday off from work,
right?
So that was extremely helpful. I had to take time off, and so I think that taking time off gave me a little bit of anxiety, because I'm like people are working, like people are pinging, email, like shit's going down. Whereas in Monday it was much more quiet because it was an actual holiday. You know what I mean? So I was able to like actually enjoy my Monday off and recuperate and shit.
Yeah. Okay. And where was the game at?
It was at Cherry's World.
It was?
It was at Cowboy Stadium. Impressive stadium. First time ever there.
Really?
Shit was massive. I was like, wow, this shit is impressive.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is impressive.
Yeah, that big ass Jumbotron.
I was just like, wow, this is one of the prettiest. They take well maintained. They take care of it. I also like that it's in the middle of kind of nowhere, like away from everything.
Yes.
But then
not in Dallas.
But they got like that, like you walk across a couple of parking lots and they got that big like outdoor area to go out. We went out after.
Like Dallas Live, kind of like down.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. That area, they built it up around there, but
right. That shit, we were there the whole night. All Colombians and Mexicans partying, drinking. Was it till like 3:30 in the morning?
This question: when Colombians and Mexicans get together, is the Spanish easily like it? Are y'all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oh no, Spanish is easily there's no problem at all with talking to each other. Obviously, there's different slang and stuff like that, but it ain't nothing. It's like you and I talking. I'm from New England. You're from freaking Arkansas.
Okay.
Like you and I talk. Like you got certain things that you say, but it's literally the same shit.
Alrighty.
You know what I mean? Literally the same thing. The only country that I can get a little bit difficult to understand sometimes is maybe in Spain and certain parts of Spain.
That's so funny.
But they're in Europe, right? It's a little different.
They speak in Spanish and y'all speak in Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Espanol.
Yeah, so it'd just be a little bit different. But like that was the weekend. But we back. We're here to talk about
pick up where we left off.
How
we even got here.
Yeah, how we even got here. So if you recall last episode, we were talking about friends and we did Friendship 1. We had hit that kind of hour limit threshold. We really are trying not to push y'all over the hour mark anymore. I understand we live in an age of lack of attention. Everybody out there is like
instant
a goldfish.
Gratification.
Yeah, everybody out there is like a fucking goldfish in there, and they forget everything after 10 seconds in the goldfish memory. So we try to keep it under an hour. So we said Audible.
Omaha. There you go.
We're gonna do Friendship Part 2, and where we ended off last episode was right after high school, beginning of college.
Correct.
Friendship. So now we're kind of delving into what friends and our friendships look like kind of post-college. Let's talk about it once we graduated, because I also think there's probably going to be a difference from our 20s to our 30s and now.
True.
I think there's going to be a little bit of a difference.
Very true.
There's always like these stages of it. So I guess I just kind of wanted to kick it off there, and let me throw it over to you, because you did talk about, from what I remember, you talked about you had some good college friends, particularly on your team. You had your roommate who you're still cool with, but y'all don't talk about, but y'all are still pretty cool. But all right, now you graduate. Right, and then you go to LA.
Yes,
and then you go to Austin. What does this all look like? Has your mentality changed at all with regards to how you look and find friendships? Like how we looking, how we talking, bro?
I would say coming out of college, it was very unique because, like I mentioned before, all my friends were basically on the team. So whenever I moved from college from Iowa to LA, it was a brand new world. So it wasn't like I wasn't taking, there was really no friendships. And I had family out in LA, so I relied on them heavily. What ultimately ended up happening was a teammate of mine came out to visit a girl who I didn't know at the time, but he just happened to be visiting this girl in LA. Him and I met up. I met her sister, and then we started kind of dating after that. And then she ended. Through them, I started making friends out where they were living, like in Huntington Beach. So
okay.
That's kind of where I kind of started making friends at that time. But then I was only in LA for 2 years, and this was probably a year into living in LA. So by the time, I made the decision to move to Austin, I really didn't have that many friends like from LA aspect. I mean, I was dating a girl, but that was about it. So then once I moved to Austin, it was kind of starting all over again. And I had a family member who's my age. He lives out here. He still lives out here now. Great friend of mine. hanging out with him. He introduced me to one of his friends. Him and I started hanging out, and we've been friends to this day. But like for the most part, like coming out of college, bro, I didn't have the friendships. I really because probably wasn't even focused on friendships like that. And then once I moved to Austin, I really wasn't focused on friendships like that. But then ultimately, after a couple of years in Austin, ended up working at the job that you and I work at. And through just proximity, as I mentioned, it was just like going through those times at that company where I started to make friends and having friends outside of work and like hanging out with them outside of work and things like that. And that's kind of say where I started to like create my new friend group, who I would say here in Austin.
So let me ask you a question, because you mentioned you weren't really focused on friendships. Talk to me a little bit about that. And maybe maybe you can go back and put yourself in the shoes of what were you thinking. Maybe you can't. But I guess like, what were you focused on? Girls, work?
Honestly, I was just focused on trying to figure. It's more so work, like trying to figure like what the heck I'm about to do. So I moved out in LA and I was working like on behind the scenes on sets and stuff like that. So it was like working. You know, I wasn't making like friends per se, and I was doing that sporadically. So I really wasn't making those connections. And I will say at the time, I probably was a little closed off.
Okay.
I would say I wasn't as cool or as open as and liberal as I am now at that time. So that being in LA and being not like a real party type person really limited some of my opportunities, especially working kind of.
Hold on, you weren't a party type person?
Nah, bro.
What?
I mean, like I would go out and like I would drink and stuff, but like I wasn't no party.
Herbert the Third, not a party person.
Nah, bro. I mean, I do my stuff on my own. Like I might do some solo stuff
wild.
on my own. I was not a party person like that.
Really?
Not at all, bro.
Wow.
So I was not in the scene.
This guy.
It wasn't until I literally
CEO
started
of Party
working
City right here, dog.
At this company that I started becoming like in the scene, like just being like, oh, I'm out here. Now
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
was out here.
Then I was out there, bro.
See, and I guess you know what the thing is, because I met you partying.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
well, I met you at work.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
at work it was like, hey, what's up? But like when we was out was when we knew each other, we went out partying. And I think for me, I just assumed you were a partier because I was a partier when I was already a partier when I got here. Like that was already my
bro,
MO.
I was corrupted at that point.
Yeah, so that's why I assumed that. That's super interesting.
Our friend is the one who corrupted me.
Christy.
Yes.
Yeah, Christy corrupted
I'm
you.
going to throw under the bus.
Oh, Christy, you out there.
That was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But no, like, met her at work. She had some friends. Started, just hanging out. Met you guys. Then I was kind of becoming more open-minded to things. And, bro, that's when my...
And then I'm getting
Awesome.
texts from her about
Turtle
2, 3 in the
boxes.
morning. Yo, where you at though? Where's the after party at? Yo, bro, pull through,
that
dog.
was the evolution of the turtle box. And if you know, you know.
We will not talk about that on this shit here, but that shit is funny, bro.
Yeah, so that's where my friends kind of started evolved. That's why I even feel like even to this day, like just most of those friends from then, I still have a lot of those friends now.
That's very interesting. I also think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, let me not tell you what you think, but I'm just saying from what I'm hearing, you were so strong on family for so long.
Yes.
And so your close knit, let's call them close people, if you want to call them friends, was your family for a very long time.
Absolutely.
And then it sounds like when you went to, even with John, because you grew up with him, he was around you, the proximity thing.
Yep.
And then you went to college, and similar to you and I were on sports teams. Like you have a family and friends there with your teammates, with your sports.
Yes.
So it's automatically thrust on you.
Yeah. Again, back to proximity.
Yeah, back to proximity. So it's like you're forced to have those friends. You don't have to go look for friendships and meaningful stuffs. And then you go to LA, and it's a completely different scene. And then LA, you also had like a cousin, and that's how you kind of met people.
Yeah,
so
yep.
So it's a little bit different.
A little different.
Okay.
But then when we got to Austin, and got to our where you and I work at. That's when I feel like again, that's when I started having friends outside of work. I started like hanging out with people, going out of town with people. Like I'd never really went out of town with friends before. Like that wasn't something that even in college, like bro, I never went back to one of my teammates' hometown for spring break or anything like that. Like I just went home. Like every other people would do that. But I was like, man, y'all more than welcome to come. But like
you never went anywhere for spring break.
Never.
You just went back to Arkansas.
I just went back to Arkansas, bro.
That's because of the family thing.
Yeah.
You're big on family. Family
yeah,
is
yeah.
that's. And I understand that. That's massive.
Like, bro, people going to doing things. They were going off to these spring break things. I'm like, bro, I'm about to go home. Like, that's it. I'm about to go home. But you know, I would go home and it's party. Like, it's crazy. Like how and my family's so large. Like again, we went through that. So it was always something fun to look forward to, and I wasn't there that often.
I mean, look, you always had a sense of community, and I think that's the most important part. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we wanted to have, at least I wanted to have this conversation around friendships and the evolution of it, because we live in a world now where people are losing a sense of community. And there's a reason why religion was so important and can still be so important in a lot of people's lives.
Yes.
And the reason, like this concept of community, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you dissect it, whether it's in a run club, whether it's an athletic club, whether it's at the gym, whether it's through work, like community is so important, and you've had that with family. Some people seek it with friends. Now, with that said, now that you're more and more here and more away from Arkansas, even though you go back all the time, right? You have your friends that you have here. Do you know why the friends that you have today that you consider friends have lasted? Because you've been in Austin for like 15 years.
Yes.
So can you point to why they've lasted or why you've kept them in your life?
I think there is certain elements of that I would draw from my family with my friends that I have now. So I think, you know, you go through these, you know, I know we met like partying, but then I think there's when, you know, you have times that you go through outside of that. And I think that's where those bonds and things start to last. So like just going through, past, deaths and things like that, you know, was a big part. But even just leaving, like, from like, whenever I left that company and still having like the group that I'm still hanging around, like it's still like just having that bond and having those people there. So I think there's just been incidents or events that have triggered me to like be closer to the people that I've met here in Austin. I would say more so around like events and things I can look back on.
Gotcha. Have you had, and it doesn't seem like, because I asked you this question with your family, and you're also just not a non-confrontational person. Like you're just not. And that doesn't mean that's a bad thing, but have you had any friendships that you've acknowledged that like, I kind of got to get away from this. Like I got to let go. Maybe you didn't have a confrontation, but you were like purposely were like, I'm going to push this to the side. Friendships. I'm not talking about relationships.
Yeah,
I'm talking about actual friendships.
You
don't got to name names or anything like that.
No. I can think of some friendships that maybe had to pull back from for certain times and be like, I may not. I'm going a little too far here. Let me pull back some of that. So I could think of. I don't even want to say it's necessarily the friendship. I guess if you would say it's friendship, like pulling back on the times that we hang out, or pulling back on the amount of time we spend together. Yeah, with certain individuals. Then I would say yeah.
Okay, but you didn't pull back from the friendship as a whole. Just
no.
Just hanging out.
I don't feel like I've been spurned or anybody's done anything that was like shady or something that was like, oh no, I can't, like, or immoral or anything like that. I can't think of that instance or anybody like that.
I hear you. Okay, very interesting.
Other than I could think of the one thing has definitely shaped my friends here, and it goes without saying, I think for all of us, is the whole, I mean, once the Trump situation came through, like that kind of,
because now, so what did that indicate to you? And I think this is important because now we start talking about values. I feel like
yes,
and so it's not that we didn't have values when we were younger, but I think we were looser about them because the common good at the time. When I say common good, what we found enjoyment in was just going out and maybe partying or just playing sports. And so, 2016, we were 31 years old. We had just turned 31.
Yeah.
What you said you had to maybe pull away from some friendships, and it was because of the Trump thing. So talk about that. Define that.
I think, and it wasn't necessarily like this was like, again, this is at the beginning of the whole MAGA movement. So this was also new, and even looking back on it now, like you just like, dang, it's crazy. I've even had people regard, but like at the time it was also new, but it was more so like this was it was. I don't want to say revealing, but it felt revealing.
Yeah.
To see like, oh, so that's how you think about that. Or, oh, that's how you think about that. And then from that, I'd be like, well, if you think that about that, or you think that about them, then you must think that about me, or you think this about me. And I think that was part of a lot of people having like going through these evaluation on friends on both sides. Because I think a lot of people on the MAGA side will look back and say like, oh, you're just some, they use like woke liberals or whatever the hell that shit is.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I think like both sides kind of like, it was almost this moment in history where everybody like stopped and just kind of like the lights got turned on at the club, and everybody
2 a.m.
like looking at each other like, oh, like this is who you are. This is what. And that's kind of, I feel like the lights got turned on.
So do you think it was more so about you looking at these folks and just thinking more so that maybe they thought a certain way about you personally? Or
not even me personally,
Okay.
because I feel like one of the things that I've been given this, I don't say given, but I've experienced being the token.
Yeah.
And everyone, and being that token. And by that, I mean, like, they may think something about me in a sober moment. They think, hot, I won't say hottie, but they think I'm like this and I'm not like
The others.
However,
you're
in a
not
drunken moment, I know it's all the same. Or if I pissed them off, it would all be, I would be the same. And that's kind of more so like, if you think that about them, even though you think I'm different than quote unquote them, we all the same. And I know that if I was to actually do something and you were mad or, in a drunken moment, you would bunch me in with them. So it was more so, that's how I've always looked at that. Because that just pays back to growing up and understanding like having friends, but also understanding that they may be on the racist side.
So I guess my question is going to be, if 2016 had actually been 2006, do you think your approach would have been the same? Or not approach, do you think your reaction, your feelings would have been the same?
That's tough.
You know what I mean?
Because I think part of what made 2016 also so stark or so different was the contrast of what was 2008. So I don't think it's almost like,
Yeah.
if part of the reason why 2016 happened was because of 2008.
Was because of 2008.
And if 2008 didn't happen, I don't know how, if it, going back to 2006, I don't know, or at that time, I don't know how that would have been.
Okay, so you think it's more, because I'm just trying to get to, was there a change in your mentality and your value system getting older with friendships? That's what I'm trying to get at.
For my value, not really, because I do feel, yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
I guess that's what, because I can say with me, it's 100% true because, I was definitely in situations, I was definitely in situations where I was friends with people when we had the whole, growing up black and brown in America. And we had the conversation of when I was at work and this dude literally said what he said. Like, my dad always says, I don't mind black people, but I hate boom. And he drops his things. And it was like, I was shocked. And this was 2011, maybe 2012. I was shocked. And I was like, but like, I still kept talking to the dude at work after that. Not like I never hung out with him again, but I was like, imagining me doing that or taking that same round in 2016 or today, that would never fucking happen ever again. Like I'm talking about, that's like beef on site type of a thing. And I think it's because of my age, and maybe you call maturity immaturity when I just said beef, but like, at the end of the day, I do think people need to get punched in the mouth. But like, it's just more of like, that's just the shit that I don't put up with. And I have more of a value system around people that I call not just friends, but even like that I associate with in any way, shape, or form. Like acquaintances either. Like, you ain't gonna be up in here if you out here spewing some hateful shit if your values aren't even somewhat remotely close to what I believe is necessary to be a decent human being.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think either of us are strict on like this. It's like, oh, you got to be held to this high value or thing like that. Like, I'm just asking for humans,
dignity,
decency, like
human dignity. Yeah.
That's it. Like, and a little bit of empathy,
Yeah.
I mean, like, not even for me, just for other people that.
It's funny because it's never about me. For me, it genuinely is never about me.
That is the thing.
All the beef, all of the shit that I get mad about, and then when I get mad about a lot, I complain about a lot. You know that I talk a lot of shit, but it's really not about me. Like, I'm fine. Yeah. Like, literally, I'm fine. And talking about friends too, here too. Like, it's so funny because
throw that on you.
People be like, oh, like, sometimes I'd be like, I just don't like drinking because I be drinking too much and I just be getting out of hands. And they're like, oh, what you mean? Like, you're a fighter? I was like, no, like, not even close. Like, I'm a super happy drunk. That's not what I mean. I said, you can say whatever you want to me for the most part drunk, and like, I'm probably just going to laugh about it. I said, but the minute you say something to my friends, like people that I'm with, that I care about, like, that's a complete different story.
Agreed.
Then I'm going to get mad.
Then, I'm with you there.
You know what I mean? And I think that, like, most of the time when I talk about values, I'm just talking about, like, I'm not saying I'm going to let you disrespect me or spit in my face or some shit, but like the reality is I'm not really complaining about me because like I'm okay and I know I can handle a lot of shit. Like we're good. But like how you treat other people, how you think about other people is like, It's crazy, and to me, that's grown so much stronger as I've gotten older,
Yep.
and that has shaped my friendships a lot. I think.
Yeah.
The reality is, like, there's just people that I genuinely don't fuck around with anymore.
Like specific incidents happened, or
I'm trying to think of like specific incidents happen. Well, I'll tell you right now, I have prevented specific incidents from happening because there was a lot of people that I kept really connected with through Facebook and through social media.
Gotcha.
And when 2016 happened, and it started before that, started in 2015 when Trump announced.
Goddamn.
And so it was a year and a half of me being on Facebook and seeing shit and being like, oh, this motherfucker that I grew up with, what? Like, huh?
Bro.
I was like, yo, I'll go back home and I would text him and we would hang out when I was back home visiting. I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yes.
Like, now it doesn't mean that we were talking every day, but friends, I can't even think of anybody. But like the minute that I deleted Facebook, like I was able to what's the word I'm looking for? To expunge all those people in my lives that I would have probably had potential problems with.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have to deal with that shit anymore. I haven't had Facebook again since January 1st, 2017.
Damn.
That was the last time I had Facebook. Deleted it completely. Never had that shit ever again.
Dang, that boy ain't got no metadata.
Nope, none of that shit. None of that shit.
Damn.
Actually, my account is deactivated. It's not deleted.
Oh, okay.
It's actually deactivated. I've gone back on it a couple of times to like grab pictures only.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like, because I got so many pictures. The only reason why I haven't deleted is because I got so many pictures on there that I just don't. I haven't gone in there and like downloaded, talking about like freaking memories, man. Like, I just haven't. So I have the account deactivated. But I'll go on there and I'll like remember like once every 3 years, and I'll pull some photos off of it, and I'll have messages and comments from like 2018, 2019. Like, get the fuck out of here. But
okay.
But yeah, I think that was a thing that I don't know if I would have had the balls to do that as younger, and and I think that's how a lot of people don't want to leave Facebook, because we had this conversation around social media, like, why don't people get off and why are you on it? Oh, it's the way I stay connected to blah blah. And I'm like, dog, if you want to trust me, if you want to stay connected, you stay. I deleted it. I'm fine. We good. Like I talk to the people I want to talk to, but it gets harder and harder the longer you're on it to get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was like, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
And if I lose quote unquote friendships, then we weren't really friends anyways to begin with. If my Facebook deletion means we're not going to talk again,
yeah, we're not friends anymore.
We weren't really that cool anyways.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. No, I definitely feel you there. Now, as far as like, now that we got into 25, and we're in this current state that we're in, when's the last time you had a new friend?
Like a new close friend? Like, this isn't, I'm going to say this is embarrassing, because if I have new close friends and they're listening, and I'm going to be like, oh, I don't fucking know. I'm getting put on the spot, but I'm like trying to really go back.
Who's your newest friend?
I mean, to be honest with you, I live in Austin, right?
Yeah.
So we both obviously live in Austin, but like, I don't really hang out with anybody but you and like the same people.
I feel like you might be like my newest friend. That's all. Like,
yeah, that's what you were saying last episode. Like I got new like acquaintances.
Yeah, yes.
Now,
yes,
whether they're good
yes.
friends, and there's people that I met that like I stay in contact with, like, what I'm saying, like via like texting or something and social media, but like close new new friends. Like I said, my buddy from the Manchester United fan club, like, he's a good friend. He's a friend. I don't want to say he's a good friend, but he's a friend. I spent New Year's with him and his wife this past time. I stayed at his place. Like, I met him there. Like, we're cool.
Yeah, that's, I would consider that to be.
We're cool. But I haven't seen him in a minute. Like, and we don't text like that anymore. Blah blah. But like, I would say that he was kind of a friend and acquaintance for sure that I met like that. But like an actual new friend, and which by the way, I'm completely open to.
Derek's hope you taking application, new friends.
Hey, new friends. But it is awkward as an adult to go out there and put yourself out there, because I tried it for a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is too, and speaking of friendships, and this is what I want to ask you, here's what I have learned about friendships is I know the close friendships that I have here in Austin, to an extent, Scott, my boy Scott, what up? To an extent, Alex, like all my friends here, I've learned to
which we all
work together. Yeah. Well, not Logan and Donnie, actually.
But all through that circle.
Through that circle. Through that circle, though. But it's like, what I've realized is that while we don't all hang out like we used to every day,
yes,
y'all will always be my friends no matter what. Well, let me not say no matter what, but yeah, when I say no matter, I mean unless something crazy happens. That's not going to happen. But like, and y'all each bring something different into my life. And it's more about, and what took me a little while to understand is accepting what they do bring to my life and accepting what y'all don't bring into my life.
Yes.
And I think that's really hard for people to do. Yeah, I think it's really hard for people to do because for a while, and this is being fully transparent, I hope nobody takes offense to it, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you on this podcast about this. For a while, I was like, I don't think some of my friends are bringing me what I'm looking for anymore in my life. And so I had really deep thoughts about that. I had conversations with my therapist about it. And then in the end of the day, I finally ended up realizing, no, that's not the case anymore. Like, yeah, maybe I'm looking for different things that they're not going to bring necessarily, but that's okay. They don't need to fulfill me in every way, shape, or form. And for that, I gave myself grace and opened myself up to be like, I can still find new, deep, meaningful friendships that do fulfill that, but what they fulfill and what I'm looking for in that piece that I'm looking for per se, maybe like some more intellectual conversations about space, the universe, about philosophy, about Buddhism, about meditation, which none of y'all are really into and don't really want to talk to me about. Like, that's the reality of it, and that's not wrong. But like if I do find that, I also got to remember that they're not going to give me what you guys give me. Right? They're not going to give me the camaraderie that have the good conversations like this in a podcast, that you and I talking about sports and bullshit and me shitting on Drake and you being like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that is just as important.
Agree. I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's like a big pie, and it's not up to one person to fulfill the whole pie.
Yes.
And each person can add these type of things. And I think that's a maturity level of friendships. I think of getting older is that you don't have to expect that one person can do everything.
Yeah.
Everyone can do everything. And I think that's important. Like, I think as an adult to understand like the value of this person is good in this situation, this person is good in this situation, this person is good in this situation, and that I mean,
it's also so liberating to be able to understand that.
Yeah,
it takes the pressure off of not just you but your friends.
Yeah.
Because your friends don't feel like they got to fulfill everything like that.
Yes, yeah.
And I think it's just so important that does come with maturity, and this is a lot of the reason why I also want to have this conversation podcast on friendships because again, now we're talking about friendships when you're 40. Like, how does that look?
Yeah, what does it even mean?
What does it even mean?
Yeah.
And how have we evolved in our thinking of friendships? And I think to me, that's been one of the biggest ones where I've, like, within the past few years, have been able to be like, oh, shit, like this person, blah, blah, brings this into my life. This person brings into life. And I'll give you a prime example. And again, this is me being, vulnerable, and I'm going to be straight up to you. I know my friends listening to me, and y'all can always hit me up on the side about it. I don't think y'all going to be mad, but like, y'all know I serve on a nonprofit,
yes.
And that I've always, not always, but a few times I've asked my friends for money. I've had some weird responses sometimes about it, and I got in my feels about it because I'm like, yo, I'm not asking you anything crazy, and if you can't give money, just tell me no. Like, it's okay. I'm not going to ask you why. It's none of my business. But some of my friends couldn't even tell me no, and I think they felt scared that I was going to get mad.
Yeah.
And I understand that because I can be a little intense. You know that. I can be very intense. But it was like, no, I was never going to get mad, but I just want you to be straight up. No, I can't. I won't, and I would have left you alone, and they didn't, so I felt some type of way about it. And then I did a lot of introspection. This was also a conversation what I had with my therapist, and then I was sitting there, and I was like, again, this went back to what did they bring into your friendships, into your lives, and started thinking about all my friends. And one particular moment really hit me hard that I never really I think I appreciated it at the time, but I didn't appreciate it as deeply as when I got into this, was when I tore my Achilles. Remember when I tore my Achilles? Yes. And I told all y'all, my friends, blah, blah, and I was like, I'm going to get surgery. And, I was single at the time. I live here by myself with my dog. And, like, some of my friends were, like, really concerned. They were like, yo, what do you mean? Like, who's going to be there to help you out? I'm like, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Like, how you getting paid? Like, what are you talking about? Picked me up after surgery. Took time off from work. Picked me up. Brought me home. Logan and Donnie came over. Donnie slept over, stayed with me, took time off from work, stayed with me. Logan came over the next day, all because they were like, yo, you're by yourself. And even though I was like, no, I'm going to be fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be in the house. They were like, how are you going to eat? Like, and it was one of those things where it was like, oh, like for me to get, butthurt about something little like a donation to a thing, and to forget about all the times my friends have been there is an injustice to the realities and the beauty of what friendship is.
Yep.
Right. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned within the past few years. And that was such an impactful incident where I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like the nerve, not even the nerve. I'm not gonna say the nerve. We're all humans. We're all going to have our feelings, our emotions. You're entitled to that. But it's all about coming back to reality and just remembering what's real, what's not,
the
good things and all that stuff. And I think, again, that goes in part like, that's a beautiful thing, and that's the appreciation now that I have with my friendships.
Yep. Now, as you looking at taking on new friends, are there certain values aspects that you are seeking?
Yeah, it's hard to say seeking. I wanted to say immediately yes because there was like again a few years ago where I was like seeking this.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a feeling you get when you meet somebody.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I would like to. I love having like these deep conversations. Yeah. Like this is good. Like granted, we're having it for the purpose of a podcast,
right?
But that's part of the reason why I wanted to have this podcast because this is the shit. This is the shit that I love to do.
Right.
Like I love talking deep, meaningful. I don't like doing surface level shit. At the end of the day, let me not say I don't like it. I don't like always doing surface level shit. At the end of the day, sometimes it's what you need. Like, I'm gonna come over and veg out on your couch. We don't need to talk about shit. I get that. So like I do appreciate that, but again, I think at the end of the day, to me, it comes down to how you make me feel, and the values you have around other people. How do you treat other people? Like, how do you treat other people? What do you think about other people? Mm-hmm. Like the dead honest truth. Yeah. And for the most part, you can catch that relatively quickly when you have conversations and talk to people. And to me, I think that's what is the most important thing for me for when I look for a friendship.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
How about you?
I do think like I said, it's so hard to. I'm trying to think what it would take. I don't think it would take a lot, but like how a new friend could come into my life right now. And I mean, there are certain things I'm not going to compromise on, certain values, that I wouldn't compromise on. But for the most part, I think it would just, I don't know if I'll be seeking, but it would be, I don't know if there's any specific thing that I would be looking for or seeking per se. But I think just as like you said, as long as somebody that's, coming with, decent humancy, a decent, human, like just love for humans, a level of empathy, some compassion. And you do need to be like, like as you mentioned, like we do need to have these deep conversations. I do enjoy having like, thinking about things in the world and having like psychological and thinking about the brain, things like that. So I do have to have somebody that does have that level, share that level of
curiosity,
level of curiosity, because that's what I always think of myself as a curious person. So like I think as long as they share that, then I'm open to it.
Yeah. And I think maybe the better word is, because I think the word that you and I are both getting hung up on is like seeking.
Yeah.
Like we're not out here seeking friendships, although there was for a little while where I was like trying to go out there.
Like swiping
but I think,
is there a friendship app?
Well, I told you I downloaded the Meetup app.
Okay.
Yeah, Meetup where you go. Yeah, that's what it is for friends. And I went to.
Not what I thought with a Meetup app.
Yeah.
I'm here for the party.
Yo, there's a bunch of girls in there. Shit, there might be.
That's so
inside joke.
But I think the seeking.
But like I downloaded this app and it's cool. You can meet people, but I think really what it comes down to is if someone comes across your path, that you're going to be seeing often, like in order for them to actually become your friends, what would, for lack of a better, be the requirements? And that's kind of what we're talking about. Yes. It's like we're not out like that anymore.
Yes.
It's just we're just not out in these streets anymore like that.
Yep.
So it is a little bit different. I think that if we were in, it was such a different time 10 years ago, where work was work. We were there all the time. There was no work from home.
Yes.
It was always in the office, and then there was always happy hours, and so you were forced to be around people with proximity. So it's a little bit. We live in a different world, which brings up a whole nother topic of discussion around friendship, and it's around the loneliness epidemic that we have right now.
Absolutely, bro.
It is insane, and I think we talked about this recently too. I was listening to a podcast. I think I put it on here. I'm trying to remember if it was this. I'm trying to remember if you and I were just talking about the loneliness epidemic.
Yes.
We did, and I put it on there, and it's just like, again, this is the lack of community, and it's how young men and boys are not going out and having friends.
Yeah.
I think women are more prone, even though the epidemic is also the same for women. I think women are more prone to have closer friendships. And we'll look up the statistic here, but I think if you ask someone now how many close friends they have, guys say like maybe one or two, where like it was like in the 1950s or 60s or 70s or something, it was like 5 to 8. And it's like it's significantly dropped.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And I think a lot of that has to do with, social media. The connections that we supposedly have is all virtual,
Yes.
and no one's going out there and meeting people, and that's a big problem too. And people, not just 40-year-olds, but like Gen Zers, don't know how to talk to anybody and make friends.
I mean, that's, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but we all know that that's an issue out here right now. That the young folks just don't talk to each other. Now, you already know how I feel. They don't like each other, but I think if they spoke with each other, they probably like each other, but they don't even talk to each other anymore. So
And I've said this on the podcast over again, for someone who literally hasn't flexed that muscle in a while, and I get very caught up being here by myself. There's a form of invigoration that happens when you do connect with another human.
Yes.
Like all the time, we're gonna do this podcast. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get up there and do the podcast, bro. We get on this shit. This shit's mad fun.
We run over. We can't get it
fucking
under an
run
hour.
over. I was telling her, I was like, yo, don't worry about it. I don't have to be a full hour. We can do like 35, 40 minutes. Bro, we like on 40 minutes already. Like,
I'm already like it just goes that fast. Fast.
And granted, I'm not saying not every interaction is like this, but like even me when I go to run club on Wednesdays, I'm like, I don't even want to. It's not even for the running. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna show up by myself. It's so awkward. I'm like, but I met a couple of people, and they come and say what up, and we talk, and and I stayed an extra.
And every time you go, now you feel like invigorated, and like you mentioned that, you just feel like, oh, I'm out in the world, and I'm like
connecting to human beings like we're supposed to.
Yes, and it feels good. It
feels fantastic.
But then you come home, take a shower, and you're like,
I'm gonna go to bed.
And
then that's how they hook you. And again, I think this episode we're not intertwining, but we're pulling in topics from a lot of previous podcast episodes. We're pulling in the family, we pulled in a little bit of the religion, the social media, like all very important things. The race and being born, black and brown in this country, all of it's pulling in because it all ties into friendships and human connections.
Yeah. Now, I was going to ask, and we can kind of end up here. Have you seen, and we were talking about diversity of friends on the last episode. Do you feel like you have more diverse friends? I'm sure, I'm assuming the answer is yes, but like, or I should ask, how do you feel like the diversity in your friends has evolved as you've gotten older? I'm gonna say this, and the reason I'm gonna say this is that growing up in Arkansas, small town, all my friends, I never had like lesbian friends or gay friends or anything like that. As I've gotten older, I've had, there's been, like, it's not like past tense, but like I've had gay friends.
Yeah.
I've had lesbian friends, and to people back home, they just don't understand like how that how you could be straight and hang out with a gay person.
That's funny. That's so interesting.
Like, what do you mean? Like, how would you hang out with any person? Like, it ain't about that.
Well, that's because, but you thought like that when you were younger too, because you were there, right?
And it's about what they're saying, yes.
Right? You understand where they're coming from, and that's an interesting question. Well, first of all, I do want to admit I tend to do this too often, and I think American society does too, but this isn't about American stuff. Let me talk about me. Let me not go start fucking blaming other people when this is about me. The minute you say diversity, the only thing that comes to mind is racial and ethnic diversity. And I always forget that we got to talk about sexual orientation. We got to talk about gender. Yeah. We got to talk about, neurodiverse people. And I always forget that. So shame on me. But to an extent, my diversity and my friendships went down as I left because I lived in a very diverse, ethnically and racially, that is, diverse city and town. So I think that I had black, freaking Latinos from all different things, Asian friends, white friends. And then as I progressed in age and life, I started getting into more whiter and whiter spaces.
Yes,
I think we talked about I went to BU, 3% minorities, my whole talk team. So it was very
Austin. Yeah,
first 2 years it was very much like, oh, let me stick to and then I went to corporate America. Then I wasn't down DC. Yeah, it was corporate America, and it was like, okay, there's very few minorities working on Capitol Hill, even though my friend group was my buddy Marcus, my boy Shiva, Javier, who's Mexican, but he's white. Javi, you white as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then, but like outside of that, it got white, and then I went to corporate America, and it was just whiter and whiter. I came to Austin, it was whiter and whiter. Yeah. That's the reality of it. But to your point, I have more gay friends, more female friends.
Yes.
Stuff like that, and that did get a little bit more. I guess opened up more from that perspective.
Yeah. You mentioned that because like even just having platonic friends, like our friend Chrissy, like just having girlfriends that were like strictly friends.
Strictly friends.
was
Yep.
a new concept. I feel so like I think that's one of the things I've seen getting older is that like the diversity of my friends, and we spoke about that, has changed, and that's been welcoming. That's been
Yeah.
welcoming, and I do welcome that because it is a different perspective. And at the end of the day, like again, are you a good human being? It ain't that hard. Like,
ain't that
that's
hard.
all I'm asking for. That's all I'm
It
asking
ain't
for.
that hard. That's all I'm asking for. And yeah, you know, we'd ask y'all here, give us a comment like how have your thoughts of friendships changed? How have you guys evolved? What have been some new epiphanies that have happened as you've grown older with respects to how you think of friendships? You know, I talked a little bit about like my two big ones where it was like, damn, like this is it was kind of groundbreaking. Like my friends can all bring something different to the table, and with that, it's like it's an appreciation for, you know, again what they bring to the table. But I think more importantly, it's an appreciation of acknowledging that they don't all have to fulfill your cup. They don't all have to fill your cup.
Yeah,
right.
We all put into that same cup. Just let's all pour whatever our juice is into your cup. Mix it all up.
Yeah.
And then you go, your cup will run it over.
Run it over. It's a beautiful thing. So let us know what y'all think.
How you gonna find new friends? What friends you looking for? Think
Yo,
about what you're looking for,
and go out there and just go out there. Like go out there and like
get somebody
community.
Say, what's up?
Yeah, community is so fucking important.
Agree.
Like when I tell you and we talked about this in the health episode, for your mental and physical health, community is important. And they're trying to break that up. This ain't no conspiracy theory, but that is what these fucking tech billionaires, tech bros are trying to do. They're trying to keep you behind the screen so that we don't unite.
So that they gonna get another yacht.
Yeah, so they can get another yacht.
Go to the moon or some shit.
They want to start their own fucking technocracy. They want to start their own country and shit like that. So shit's crazy. Don't let that shit happen. Go connect with people. You'll actually realize that people all probably care about the same shit that you do. Like,
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the little things. They have us fighting against each other, and it's like, it's
ain't
terrible.
that different.
It ain't that different.
We ain't that different.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. But, yeah, man, that was a good convo.
No, that was great.
But what you think about? What you going to teach me today?
Oh, man, this is interesting as we get into our fun little tidbits that we like to do here at the end of the episodes. So a lot of us see dinosaurs, and you know what a T-Rex looks like.
Dinosaurs. We talking about dinosaurs, dog.
Those things that exist. You see dinosaurs. You know what T-Rex look like. You know what I can't even think of another dinosaur.
Velociraptor.
There we go.
Stegosaurus.
All those
Triceratops.
All those Triceratops. Try them all.
Brontosaurus.
There you go. Give me one more.
God damn it.
Raptor.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So you think about it, and you see it on Jurassic Park, and we see with these what we think dinosaurs to look like. However, what I've seen recently was that they had some people who went back and are responsible essentially for portraying what we think dinosaurs to look like to draw modern animals.
Yeah.
So you'll see right here a modern animal that's been drawn by people that decide what dinosaurs look like for us, and see if you can guess what this animal is. And the whole premise of this is that based off of this drawing of what this animal is and what we think dinosaurs look like, we probably don't have no clue. They could have had feathers and all kinds of things that we
don't know. We don't
got them on skin, and that's it.
And I think my I want to say pushback, but like because we're only seeing the bones, so we don't know what the skin, we don't know what the fat look like, we don't know what the muscle
of the structure of the bones.
We don't know what the muscle look like,
so we don't get to see. Yes.
But my only question is, can't we tell something based off of bone density? Because your bones, like our skeletons, have to be strong enough to support the meat, the muscle, the tissue, the skin, the organs, everything we have inside.
Yes.
So that would somewhat dictate. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but
there definitely there's definitely ways that we can tell based off the bone density, like you said. But when we get into the specifics and how detailed, individual animals are, like if you were trying to draw a zebra from a horse and you had to draw it off skeleton, how would you do that? Yeah. So it's those types of nuances like that where we can see with our eyes, it's like, oh, that's clearly a zebra, that's clearly a horse, but we don't have that information when we're looking. Well,
that's a good point. How do you even, like, if it is a zebra, like, how would they even know that it had stripes? You wouldn't, based off of the bones.
There you go.
You wouldn't have any idea.
Zebras and horses went extinct, and they would just be drawing them all.
Look the same.
Yeah.
Look the exact same. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're leaving it. We're gonna put up it again, like what animals is. We forgot to tell you what it was.
Take a guess, and then I would definitely tell you what it is.
Taking a guess. Take a guess. Yeah. What is it?
It's a swan.
It's a swan.
You had no idea. It's like, that's not no damn swan. That's a
crazy.
Swan right there. That's how we
crazy.
think swans would look if they were, 250 million years from now when they're like digging up fossil fields of swans. That's how they're going to be drawing them damn things.
That's so funny.
Just imagine how we're going to be looking. Probably like Neanderthals.
Yo, that's funny. That's probably what we're doing to Neanderthals right now.
Yo, they was like suave and shit. Yeah. Like, that is not what we look like.
They used to wear suits. What the fuck are you talking about?
Never had a fucking baton in my life. What is this club?
I always wear socks. What's wrong with you?
Who the fuck would walk around without socks? As you can see, we've taken it
there. We're taking it. That was a good one.
That's my fun fact.
That was a good one. That was good. I appreciate that. All right. So I think the past 2 weeks I've diverted. Past episodes I diverted a little bit from my space and my sciences. So I got to go back. I got to go back. And so I want to talk about like tallest mountains in the solar system.
Ooh.
In the solar system, because we don't think about that, right? What's the tallest mountain?
Mount Everest.
On Earth. Mount Everest, that's above ground. The actual tallest mountain is, I'm going to put it up here, it's one that's beneath the ocean that from top to bottom, from base to peak is actually taller, but it's in the ocean, and it pops up a little bit. Yeah. But it is taller than Mount Everest. But the tallest mountain on Earth is Mount Everest, which is about 29,039 feet, I want to say. Oh, there it is.
Down there cruising altitude.
It's 29,032 feet. So that's about, now a mile is 5,280 feet. So it's almost 6 miles. It's about 5.5 miles. Yeah. Okay. Now, on what planet do you think the tallest mountain in the solar system is on?
Okay. Let me think how it's going to have to form. So we need some rocks. I'm just going to throw it out there. Jupiter.
No, not Jupiter. Now, a lot of the reason for this is that what we need to realize is that the 4 biggest planets are the gas giants. And so they're gas. Yeah, so Jupiter and Saturn are gas, although Neptune is super icy. But so there really are no mountains on there, even though they could be ice mountains for sure.
Okay,
there could be ice mountains, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that it is. Now, with that said, the what's more likely to have mountains are the moons of all those planets. They're most likely. But the tallest, so the 4 planets closest to the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, are the rocky planets.
Yep.
So it's one of those planets.
Oh, man.
So it's one of those planets. It's actually Mars. Mars, which is smaller than planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mars... the mountain is actually a volcano. It's called Mount Olympus Mons. That's what it's called. Okay. And this behemoth is 85,000 feet. 85,000 feet. It is 16 miles high. Almost triple the height of Mount Everest.
That's why they trying to go to Mars to climb a damn mountain.
They're trying to climb the mountain.
All these rich people trying to go to Mars to climb a mountain.
Yo, it's insane. I'm gonna put a comparison of the two. You're gonna put Everest here in the middle, Olympus Mons. And also, Olympus Mons is so much wider as well. It's like 700 miles to the base. Yeah. But that's absolutely crazy, and I've always found that fascinating. So, tallest mountain / volcano in our solar system is Mount Olympus Mons on planet Earth. 85,000 miles, 16 miles up there. Airplanes don't even fly that high.
Cruising altitude is 30,000 feet, 35,000?
30 to 40,000 feet. I've been on a plane that's done 42,000 feet before.
Was on a Concorde.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But that's twice as high as a plane.
Triple. Oh, yeah, twice as high as a plane. No, triple. Almost. 40. Yeah, you're right.
But still. That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
Damn, the solar system is just so wild, bro.
Oh, I've got some crazy ones. I've been watching a lot because my interest in space is beyond the solar system. I'm more interested in like cosmology. Okay. Not to be confused with cosmetology. That's makeup and hair and shit like that.
I thought that was a magazine.
Cosmology is the study of the universe itself and the beginning of the universe, the expansion of the universe.
We're going to have to get back to this. We're going to have to have more universe talk at one point because I've been hearing some things about this universe.
They've been coming out now. There's a big conversation around the Hubble constant and whether it's real and whether the universe is actually expanding or not and how the Big Bang, if really quick. I've been listening to so many podcasts. 90% of shit they say I don't understand, but I'm catching 10% of it and I'm like, damn, I'm a genius, dog.
I know 2.
Yeah.
2%.
It's some interesting shit. But like that's usually my interest. But once in a while, I get caught in like some of these solar system shits, and it still fascinates me because a lot of people get caught up in like the stars, the galaxy. But it's like, yo, some of the shit that's happening in our solar system is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's just fucking crazy. Like talking about like Venus. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system at 850 degrees Fahrenheit. And so you would instantly fry when you got out there. But due to the high pressure of its atmosphere, you would get crushed immediately. I think the atmospheric pressure is like 30. I'm guessing here. I can't remember what it is, but it's like 30 times that of Earth. So it's like, imagine what happened to the submersible submarine. That's exactly what I was going to that would happen to you immediately if you went on Mars.
That is like how heavy the atmosphere is.
That's how much per PSI, right? Pressure per square inch.
Yes.
That's what it would fuck. It would be like having, I'll show it over here. I can't remember. But like, it's shit like that. That's like,
skyscraper on you or something.
Yeah, shit like that. And Venus used to be like Earth. It used to be like Earth. And then it had runaway greenhouse effect. And that's why it's all like that now. That's why it's so hot. Because you would think Mercury is the closest. And Mercury is fucking hot. Mercury's like 450. But it's also, Mercury is also pretty tidal locked. And so one side of it is 450 degrees. The other side of it is like negative 250 degrees.
So it doesn't get that.
Doesn't get the sun all the time. Or it spins a lot slower.
Oh, okay.
I think is it Mercury or Venus's day is longer than its year? One of those two. I can't remember. I'll look it up here.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Because the spin is so slow. Yeah.
The axis. Oh my.
Again,
this is what y'all
crazy.
Come here for. This can't be adulting. It's for the
it's
science.
Fucking wild, man. I love this shit. I love this shit, man.
Yeah, we can go all day on this.
But it was good talk. Yeah, we're about to get that. We might have to do a pure science facts episode. Just fucking
not science facts, no, science opinions.
Science
I'm not bringing any facts. This is all what I be feeling and thinking and wowing. But yeah, Derek can bring the facts. I'll bring the wow.
Yeah, I gotta clear myself on that shit. But hey, man, good episode, man.
Yo, we did
I appreciate it. Hey, let us know what you think.
Friends, how many of us have them? Friends, ones we can depend on.
Woo.
There.
Peace.